Welcome to the Prime Real Estate Network channel on YouTube. I'm your host, Mr. Prime Real Estate, Ric Davis.
And I'm your host, the Texas Real Estate King, LarryWBrooks.
Every week, the King and I will provide you exclusive access to our network of lenders, investors, and real estate professionals from both the commercial and residential real estate sectors.
Now, are you millionaire minded? Or maybe you're a millionaire in the making. Make sure that you subscribe so you can get connected to the network. And always remember, the Prime Real Estate Network, where millionaires are in the making.
Create wealth for generations.
What's up, Prime Real Estate Network listeners? It's your man, Larry W. Brooks, a.k.a. the Texas Real Estate King. Hey, when you get a moment, go ahead and go over to shoplwb.com. You can see the Pure Hustle merchandise that we had over there, some of our newer items that we have in stock, and of course, I got all the books that I've authored. I'd love for your support. You have a great day.
Hey, welcome to the Prime Real Estate Network Live. I'm your host, Ric Davis. If you don't follow me on social media, I invite you to do so at Prime Real Estate Ric. If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in residential or commercial real estate anywhere in the great state of Texas, but especially here in our lovely city of Houston, feel free to reach out to me directly on Instagram at Prime Real Estate Ric. As always, it's an honor and a pleasure to be here with you live on Facebook and YouTube. And I want to give a huge shout out to everybody that's tapped in with us live for today's show. I want to invite everyone to get involved, leave myself or the Texas Real Estate King a relevant real estate question in the comments section. And you never know, we may be very well able to answer your question on today's show. I want to take a little time to thank everyone on the Prime Real Estate Network team and the team that supports us over at Brooks & Davis Real Estate Firm. We're streaming live here from the Brooks & Davis Education and Training Center at 2600 South Loop West here in Houston, Texas. And I want to take a little time to introduce my co-host. He is not only a highly successful real estate broker, he's a multi-time author, serial entrepreneur, and the proud proprietor of the Pure Hustle clothing brand. I want to thank him so much for checking in with us just like he does every week here on Prime Real Estate Network Live. And I'd like to introduce the Texas Real Estate King, Mr. Larry W. Brooks. How are you?
I'm good. What up, good people? Shout out to all the fans and all the people that share this information every week. Thank you for those of you that are locking in and subscribing with us and telling your friends and co-workers about what's going on over here at the Prime Real Estate Network. Shout out to all our past alumni that continue to support the organization. Shout out to everybody in the alumni group that we have on Facebook. So definitely, if you're an alumni, you want to be in there. We got some big things planned for everybody. And man, I'm actually coming from the coaching and training center of Champion School of Real Estate on the north side of town, man. So it is it's renewal time, right? These CE classes. So I decided with so many changes going on in our real estate industry, man, I was like, I want to be belly to belly with the instructor. I want to be able to ask the instructors what is going on when it comes to like the red lining on the contracts nowadays that you can use in order to see a lot of the updates and things like that. So just being able to sit in the room with the instructor that has went in and reformulated these legal classes over the last 2 years, because a lot of people don't know, but the legal classes change every 2 years. They go in after Congress does their thing, and then they make the changes to whatever Congress has came up with for us as licensees, as well as people that are in real estate properties and things of that matter. So just being able to come out here and get that tutelage face to face is important, man.
You know, you mentioned that you were streaming with us live from the Champion School of Real Estate Education Center. For those who are new to our show and aren't aware of the type of relationship that you've fostered with Champion School of Real Estate over the years, can you enlighten our audience and illustrate for them how far back and how long-reaching that relationship with Champion School of Real Estate is?
Man, that relationship goes back to when I got my license. So we're talking about 20 plus years ago when I got licensed. I got licensed at Champions, man. Shout out to Rita Santa Maria, the founder of Champion School of Real Estate. She actually stepped into the class today and spoke very briefly. So great seeing her. You know, shout out to those of you that don't know, I was actually featured in her second book, Real Estate Champion, Tendencies of a Real Estate Champion. And I was actually featured on a podcast that she does. And I'm actually on chapter 4 or 5. I can't recall exactly one. If you already possess the book, if not, if you go to LarryWBrooks.com, we'll have some copies over there for you. But definitely, man, just being in with relationships and relationship building. So it's been exciting, man. Just it's real estate. This is what we're doing.
And it's very apropos that you're there, continuing your education, sharpening your sword, making sure that you know about everything as far as all the new rules and regulations that are getting put in place, because that just brings us to a little bit about this week's guest. Can you share with our audience, Larry, a little bit about this week's guest, how you were able to develop that relationship, and how you were able to have this gentleman commit to sitting on our show today?
Yes, indeed, man. So we had an opportunity. You know me, I've been in this industry over 25 years. And so supporting other businesses, other organizations, anybody in this real estate field, I want to be a part of it. So I had an opportunity by one of our newer agents, Nicole, actually sent me an invite to attend EXP Black. It's an organization inside of EXP, the realty company, where they actually have an organization, more of an affiliate organization of the Black or the people that are Black that do real estate inside of EXP. It was an amazing event, a packed event. It had great people on the stage and great advice that were being given out. And so myself and today's guest had an opportunity to meet there, just kind of and just fellowship a little bit. And immediately I told him, I said, man, I want your energy on this podcast. People need to see and hear about what it is that you got going on. And so with that being said, we got him here today. It didn't take much. My man was like, look, I'm gonna make the calendar work. I'm gonna reorganize some things. And he was able to be here for us today. I'm excited. I'm excited to hear what he got going on and things like that, man. So just shout out to just realtors that look like us doing business. Not only that, but definitely just continue to grow in this space of change. Real estate is changing, and we're in a space where changing and investing and all of these things that you need in your organization in order to be great.
No, man, I appreciate those words, because one of the great things about hosting this platform with you is that we celebrate Black business excellence every week here on the Prime Real Estate Network Live, especially during Black History Month, which makes it my honor and a pleasure to introduce this week's guest. This fine gentleman is not only a successful and seasoned real estate broker, he's also a successful real estate investor, and he is the corporate vice president with Home River Group. I'd like to introduce to the Prime Real Estate Network audience, Mr. Marco Walker. How are you, sir?
Oh, I'm doing well, and what an introduction, first and foremost, right? Oh man, I got to bring my A game on this. No, but I truly appreciate both of you having me on. As Larry spoke to, just being able to build that relationship through Nicole and meet and her connecting us, I think is amazing. So yes, Marco Walker, real estate broker. Actually with Home River Group as the vice president of sales, and also our designated broker here in Texas, but also our qualifying and broker in charge in North Carolina as well. So excited to be here with you guys and let's spend some time.
Man, we were really excited.
Needless to say, you know and understand this real estate market in different areas of the country, as we say. Okay.
No, Marco, we're really excited to have you sit in with us, sir, because one of the great things is that with you being a broker, an investor, and also being a leader with the Home River Group, there will be no one that we would like to have sit in to talk about some of the best practices that investors can employ as far as property management, making sure that they can right-size their investment business from that standpoint, and how to manage the doors that they already own. So first thing, sir, for the members of our audience that are meeting you for the first time, Mr. Walker, could you talk about some of the services you all at the Home River Group offer to your clients?
Absolutely. So Home River Group is a full-scale property management company, right? And really what that ultimately means is we handle everything from pricing your home to placing a resident. I like to use the word resident versus tenant, but placing a resident into your home and really managing the resident experience, right, in your home. Because of course, I think most people have rented a home and we want our residents to not just be a number. We want this to truly be their home, right? You have Thanksgiving, you have Christmases, you have New Year's, you have different family occasions that happen in this particular house. And we partner with our residents to make your house truly a home. So with Home River, we've been in business since 2016. And a lot of people don't know, right? We manage over 20,000 properties across 30 plus states. I'll say that again, 20,000 properties across 30 plus states. So also we're managing for people like us, right? So it's not just, corporate entities or anything of that nature. We focus on your smaller investor, your seasoned investor, whatever stage of investor you are, we help you. So ultimately at Home River Group, if you own one property, we can manage that property for you. So we currently service and support over 10,000 owners in those 30 plus states as well. Wow. So it's pretty awesome, man.
That's a big deal. Yeah. That's a big number too.
It's a humongous number. And the goal is, and through your platform, hopefully we can accomplish this as investors, and you guys know this. Man, when you're working or you're trying to, as a realtor, sell houses, get out there, network, build relationships, and your phone starts ringing and it's a resident that has a maintenance issue. It's a resident that they can't pay, they can't do this, they can't do that, right? Now you're chopping up your day or your time to deal with your rental properties. What we want to be able to do is partner with you to make you more money, put more revenue in your pocket, but also we want to be able to save you time so that you could focus on the different areas of your business, of your life, and give some of that time back to your families.
Marco, one of the things that you just mentioned is how working with Home River could benefit people like Larry and myself that are also producers in this real estate sphere, who are realtors, brokers, but at the same time have investment properties. When I introduced you, I mentioned that not only do you serve as vice president with Home River, but you're also a real estate broker and a real estate investor. So could you talk to our audience about the true value from someone who's actually in that seat as an investor, that's also a corporate leader, but at the same time is running their own small investment business? Can you talk about how taking some of those responsibilities off of an investor's plate could truly help their bottom line and help them to scale?
Absolutely. And, I want to really just talk about the mindset shift before I kind of go into those points. Me being in, I would say, corporate America, in the corporate space, and really growing in the corporate space, you're exposed to many different people, many different levels of people, and of different races, of different economic status, and things of that nature. And what I've come to learn is the people that I've come in contact with that are, whether they're managers, other VPs, C-suite, I've learned a ton from them. And the key in each and every situation that I've picked up on is that they really have a diversified portfolio. And when I say diversified portfolio, I mean, of course, their work is corporate and they're doing whatever job they're employed to do, but they also have stocks. They also have investments. They have different streams to bring in income and truly create generational wealth for them, but also for their families in years to come. And, I really didn't have a ton of Black executives to really look at and see, can I get there? Can I do that? So it's, that's part of what I would say gets me going. So being an investor, really, I think as being a leader, you have to first understand how to follow. So I'm a Capricorn. I always tell people Capricorns are the best because we end the year and we start the year. So I always tell, in order to be a great leader, I truly believe you need to understand how to follow. So I followed those different examples to start investing in real estate to create that generational wealth and diversify my portfolio. So the key also that I've learned is being an investor is hard, man.
Right.
It is extremely hard, from understanding the financial impact, how to use leverage in order to buy properties if you don't have cash, working with residents, et cetera, et cetera. There's a plethora of things that go with real estate investing. But the key that I've truly picked up on is having a team is so uber important when real estate investing. Us as property managers and property management business, as an investor, we really take the heavy lifting for you and take the weight off of your shoulders so that we can really operate your properties for you so that you can just collect revenues and profits and really save your time in other ways.
You know, doing my research into your brand and Home River Group, one of the things that I was most impressed was with your list of services and your bedside manner, for lack of a better phrase, and working with some of those less seasoned investors that may only own one door or one property. As a realtor on this side of the desk, one of the pain points that I hear from a lot of investors is that the quality property management companies sometimes require that you own 3 properties or more for them to feel as if the work that goes into it is worth their time and their bandwidth. Can you talk a little bit from a corporate standpoint, what allows Home River to not only service this niche of investor group, and why is it personally, Mr. Walker, that it fulfill you professionally to work with those new investors that are building their generational wealth from that?
Absolutely. So with Home River Group, it's come through trial and tribulation, right? And learning. I think in any business, it's about learning what your residents, what your clients are saying. Feedback is truly a gift. And great companies take that feedback and then they reinvest into their processes and really streamline their processes to really give back to their client base and their residents. So by us being able to do that and going from 5,000 properties, 10,000 properties, and then 20,000 properties, those are a ton of gifts as far as feedback that you learn along the way. So with that being said, that's enabled us to truly be able to really be able to save our smaller investors, our newer investors. I don't want to say small. I'll say our new investors money. And being able to truly service them through our platform because we can work at scale. We have a national presence and a national name. However, we do have a very localized feel. Of course, when you're a new investor, let's call it what it is. You're a little bit nervous. You're a little bit scared, right? This could be money that you're taking out of your 401k. This could be money that you've saved up 2, 3, 10 years, and now you're ready to invest. So you want to make sure that you're trusting and partnering with the right company that's going to truly take care of you. So with us, we don't necessarily just want to focus on seasoned investors. We want to focus on and also tailor to an investor that has one property. Because of our partnerships that we do have across our 30 plus states, we can help our investors buy additional investment properties, manage those properties, work with lenders, et cetera, to really grow their portfolios. So, it's an amazing experience. And what's fulfilling about this for me is I've been there. Right. I'm a new investor. I understand how hard it is. No matter, and I've been in executive leadership now for over 15 years. However, I recently started to invest roughly 5+ years ago. So even though that I've been, I've climbed the corporate ladder, when it came to investing, I was a pup, right? And I needed help and I didn't know where to go to really learn some of these different key aspects about investing. I'm very, very passionate about helping new investors, especially break into this investment game and really understand how to truly diversify their portfolio and also scale their portfolio.
No, I really appreciate you mentioning that fact, because one of the things that you mentioned earlier in our discussion was how when you're working with those C-suite investors, those high-end, more leveraged investors, those that are seasoned, you've always found on their path to creating generational wealth, it's always a multi-pronged approach. And with that multi-pronged approach, having someone like yourself, the Home River Group, to manage that one particular prong, which may be your rental properties, can not only be beneficial financially into the bottom line, but also allow you to have a bandwidth to establish those other prongs. And how do you have some success stories that you could share as far as some of the newer investors that have come to you and you've been helped to mentor them to establish a multi-pronged investment approach?
Absolutely. So, as far as with Home River Group, we work with several new investors, several hundred new investors across the different landscapes. There's been one investor in particular that stands out. I won't say the person's name, but ultimately in Atlanta, Georgia, and I used to live in Atlanta, but ultimately this person really just worked at a regular job, was not in leadership, just was someone who focused on saving. Ultimately, they were able to save up. I think it was close to $100,000, and they were ready to invest. And we were able to ultimately help them, partner them with the lender, partner with them to locate said property, find that property, purchase the property, and then also manage said property. And now you're talking about someone who started out with 0 properties to 1 property, and now has over 5 properties into their portfolio. And it really started with a connection and started with a relationship with them, and them trusting in us to really, partner and handle some of those services for them, which allowed them to scale. So that's just one example, but it really touches me, because that person's life has a totally different trajectory and is in a totally different position from, when we partnered with them originally.
No, I appreciate you for sharing, because there's definitely going to be so many members of our audience who not only your story is going to resonate, but the example that you just illustrated as far as where you can have as far as success with the right vision, the right mentorship, and having quality people around you is something that I'm sure motivates so many people in our audience. I want to ask you this, Marco, because one of the things that Larry and I truly value about this platform is that we're not only able to expose our audience to so many highly productive entrepreneurs and business owners, but at the same time, I'm able to get tidbits and best practices. So when you think back to your childhood and upbringing as a young man, were there any members of your family or close inner circle that were entrepreneurs and business owners? And if so, how did they serve as a motivating force for you?
Hey, I appreciate that question. You may end up making me cry on this platform, man. So I'm gonna hold it together, all right?
Please.
But I think as far as I like to, of course, always start with God as the center, but also my father. He didn't necessarily own any businesses, was not an entrepreneur, but I start with him first because he really instilled in me hard work. My mantra is effort equals results, results equal opportunity, but it starts with effort. I've watched, this man put in a ton of effort and will make sure a task is completed almost to perfection before he will move on to something else. So I think it starts there. As far as entrepreneurs that I was able to see growing up, I would say my 3 cousins really stand out to me. Cousin Rico, my cousin Moan, and my cousin Nisi. They stand out to me. Right now, my cousin Rico and Moan, they're brothers. I saw them buying properties, man, when they were in their teens. So talking 18, 19 years old in their neighborhood, grew their portfolio to over 20 plus properties. Was able to give me different advice as it pertains to housing. I like to say the word housing. When I'm talking housing, I'm talking housing authorities, which we all know is Section 8, and really gave me some of those ins and outs as it pertains to how they were able to build their portfolios, but get quality tenants in there and really change my perception of Section 8 residents because their houses were well taken care of. My cousin Nisi, she's been a very, very big impact as well. And she probably doesn't know this, but I saw her do foster care as, you know, it was more than a business. You know, I guess on paper you can look at it that way, but it was really impacting people's lives. Also with a daycare and also a hair salon. So all out of one house.
Right.
But ultimately, I was surrounded by go-getters, surrounded by people that inspired me to do what I'm doing today. And yeah, man, it's you just really made me reflect. So I appreciate the reflection that you just took.
No, I appreciate your candor and transparency, because one of the great things about hosting this platform is that I want everyone in our audience to know that when we're finding guests, we're not just looking for the best and brightest, but we also want to give you opportunity to connect, to see that there are people going through the same struggles, some of the same challenges that you're going through, and you can see the future, project, and set goals for yourself that'll put you in a position to not only generate generational wealth, but also to be successful financially and personally. So thank you so much. So, Mr. Walker, for those members of our audience that are just totally enthralled by your story, some of the things, and that are investors who are in dire need of your services, will there be opportunities for them to come out, meet, greet, interact with you on a personal basis, sign up, learn more about Home River Group? So just how can the Prime Real Estate Network audience become a part of your movement, sir?
Absolutely. I would say your network, right, is your net worth. So if you're watching today, I am now part of your network. So if you type in Marco Walker on Facebook, Marco Walker on LinkedIn, Marco Walker on Instagram, you will be able to find me. Connect with me, connect with me, connect with me. I think it starts there. Feel free to inbox me. Let's have a conversation. Let's build a relationship. So I think that's the very first step. As far as how to reach me, we do have other events coming up. So I host a webinar with Home River Group every other Tuesday, and it's called Real Estate Investing with Marco. And really what that platform is designed to do is just bring in other real estate professionals similar to the Prime Real Estate Network here, but bring in some of my corporate partners onto that platform to really just educate. It's really not to sell our property management services, but truly to educate the public so that you guys are inspired to get into real estate investing, because it can be very life-changing and create some financial freedom in your life, which we all aspire to get to. Other than that, there will be some different webinars that we'll have, also events that I like to go to. Definitely, we're part of EXP as a preferred solution of EXP Realtors. But if your brokerage would like for us to come in and talk about property management services, feel free to reach out to me. We're happy to do lunch and learns. We're happy to partner in any capacity that you feel will be beneficial to the community and to your brokers and agents and realtors. The last thing I will say is that for any agent, any realtor, any broker that is watching, Home River Group, we do partner, and I truly mean partner with you in your local areas and the areas that we do service. We're one of the companies that offers a very aggressive referral bonus. So if you have referrals that are interested in learning more about property management services, partner with us. We offer a $750 referral bonus if we close that particular person and bring them on as a client. And that is $750 per door, up to 10 doors. So if you bring us a client that has 10 properties that they would like for us to manage, all you do is go on our website, you fill out their information, we contact them. You don't have to do anything else. Wow. If we bring them on as a client, once that first month's rent is paid, you do receive a $7,500 check for really just a referral. So let's partner.
Thank you so much, Marco, man. I appreciate everything you've done especially with this being nearly the end of the first quarter of the year 2025. I felt like it would be imperative for us to have someone with your expertise to come in, especially when we're in tax time, we're planning out our future investments. So there's no better time, sir. You are absolutely spot on. I want to thank you so much, man. We've been thanking you the entire time, but I feel like the information and the knowledge that you have is very well served on our platform. I want to thank you so much. If you ever have anything as far as events or anything you would like to get out to our audience, so you always have a seat with us. Thank you so much, man. And we look forward to having another opportunity to sit in and learn from Mr. Marco Walker.
Yes,
Thank you
sir.
so much. Have a good one, sir. We talk to you soon.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Man, I want to give a huge shout out to the Texas Real Estate King, Mr. Larry W. Brooks. Man, huge shout out to Mr. Marco Walker. We had a really great episode this week on the Prime Real Estate Network Live. If you enjoyed this information, if you enjoyed that interview, I urge everyone to share this episode. If you're on YouTube, hit the like button, hit the share button, subscribe to the show. Check us out every week. You can see some of our past shorts, some of our past episodes. We have everything here for you. On behalf of myself, Ric Davis, and the Texas Real Estate King, Mr. Larry W. Brooks, we want to thank everyone in the Prime Real Estate Network audience. And until next week, here live on our show, please be safe and be blessed.